This is the Virginia Beach Police Department. You're going to be tested physically. You're going to be tested emotionally. You're going to be tested psychologically. And we absolutely are going to test your integrity. Nothing will be given to you. Period.
We do water safety. Use Virginia Beach full of water. You wouldn't think it. I mean, I know we're the beach, but you wouldn't think that, oh, we have to get in the pool and basically know what it feels like to drown and be wet. We try to prepare our recruits for the potential of water in patrol. Whether you're in immaculate shape or not, swimming is very, very difficult to do.
The dive team will come in and take them to the pool to see what their abilities are and demonstrate that not everybody has the ability to go into the water to save someone.
My title is Sergeant Brian Ricardo, and I'm assigned to Police Special Operations. You guys have a long day with the Ricardo experience, so you might as well start loosening up now. When I took over the Marine Patrol and Dive Team, one of the collateral duties for that is teaching the recruit class the water safety class. Some classes come in and they're very proficient in the water. Some classes come in and they have zero experience.
I don't swim. I can do a couple laps, but after that I'm done. I just sink.
We go through a series of drills and exercises with them to tire them out at first.
So they do a couple lengths of the pool, different strokes. They've got a certain amount of time they got to tread water.
I didn't like the whole treading water for 10 minutes thing. Especially when they pressed that brick around, I was like, okay, well, this sucks.
I absolutely loved it. That was definitely one of the best parts of my training so far.
It's a good day of training, and it opens, I think, a lot of their eyes as far as what the possibilities are, especially with all the water that's in Virginia Beach.
They've told us repeatedly that every precinct has some kind of body of water, if not multiple bodies of water in it. The water survival was a different beast entirely.
He's going to tackle me into the pool, and I'm going to try and turn him over.
I'm good at floating, not so good at swimming underwater.
Let's go, Suda.
And that was just discovered recently when we had to retrieve a dummy from the 12-foot section of the pool.
You know, I love being in the water, I love swimming, but when you add the stress of trying to save someone's life, it played a mental game in my head.
I was holding my own very well, but when it came down to helping someone in that situation, that's when I was like, you know, maybe this is where my limit is. But that's just something I need to work on.
I'm gonna have to get swimming lessons because to get over this and to be better. I tried majority of the things, but I knew some things I was like, I can't do this because of my skill level.
Are you touching?
Having background of being a lifeguard, I wasn't as nervous as some of the people, I guess. And it was interesting to see how some of the recruits did. You know, they're really gym nuts, and then seeing them in water.
Harrington, I hadn't seen him really afraid of much this academy. You know, I'm pretty good friends with him, and he was not looking forward to it. He was watching YouTube videos the night before on how to swim and trying to mentally prepare himself.
I was very strong while seeing people that are, you know, pretty much better than me at everything. And I was like, I can at least outswim you.
I think the most difficult part that they find is that, number one, you know, when they're training in the water, we've got them in t-shirts and shorts, and then by the end of class, I put a 15 or an 18-pound weight belt on them that simulates going in the water with all of your gear. That 4 hours that I have them in the pool is really, yes, it's some exercise and it actually gets them out of the classroom and it's fun, but it's really a thinking exercise because, you know, you never know when you're going to get that call that you've got to go and effect a rescue in the water.
It's an eye-opening experience. If someone's out there or about to drown, doesn't do them or you any good if you can't swim a lick and you go out there and you try to save them.
You have a choice to make when you respond to a call for something in the water. The decision is very simple. Am I going in the water or am I not going in the water? If I'm going in the water, then what am I wearing and what am I taking with me? If I'm going to go in the water and I'm going to take off my gun belt and my vest and my communications equipment and my shirt and my boots, what are you going to do?
Knowing whether to take your gear off or not to go in and to save an individual,
is something that you need to always retain in the back of your mind. That one time you might have to go in to save somebody, you know, you got all these civilians standing, you don't know if your gun or any weapon of yours is going to be there when you get back.
Sergeant Ricardo, he was just like, I'm glad you pushed through it. I'm proud of you, I respect you for pushing through it, and keep your head up, it's almost over. I'm not even a sworn officer yet, and already having that support is great. It's really a family.
Got to, you know, realize these are the people I want to surround myself around.
If you're gonna be in law enforcement, why not protect and serve the area that your family resides in, an area that you're familiar with, and more so, an area that you're proud of?
Virginia Beach has the largest aspect of, you know, different police fields.
Career-wise, my plan was always the detective bureau.
I really want to do mounted.
It'd be interesting to be an SRO, a school resource officer.
I want to do the SWAT team.
The ready response team, I'm pretty sure I want to go out for that.
Each time we'll have like, you know, the different units come and talk to us and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that would sound cool. And then I'll have another unit come and I'm like, that one sounds cool too. So I'm like, there's so many different like units where I'm like, I would love to like try a variety of them.
Back in the 80s, we had a riot down at the ocean front, and ever since then, crowd management's been a big priority in making sure that we're properly trained in case it ever happens again.
Everybody remember their SWATs from yesterday? Yes, sir. All right.
I thought it was great training. It's something that we need to experience, and it's something that you don't really get or understand until you're put in that position.
My least favorite of the academy, those 2 days.
To understand how formations are put together and the intimidation factor that we are essentially to establish to reinstate peace, I think it's great.
Proper movements and line formations with riot batons, riot shields, riot helmets. There are bottles filled with water and tennis balls that are thrown at them just to kind of simulate that people are going to be throwing stuff at you in a riot environment.
There was so much going on there. In our situation, we had, what, 20 to 30 people, and as soon as they take control of that one fight, another fight breaks out.
Individuals, when we were doing officer-victim car rescues, while we're waiting to go, just seeing people just have water bottles that completely explode on them and stuff. It's real. And there's gonna be other things. I mean, they're just throwing tennis balls and water bottles. You're talking about bricks, rocks.
And they just had buckets and buckets of water because I was like, when are they gonna run out of water?
To work with the mounted patrol, super cool. You know, talk about clearing a crowd quickly.
When we had to do those scenarios where we had to swing our stick with a purpose to get people from getting in a car, I did really well, and one of the role players was like, I'm not going anywhere near you because the way you swing that stick, I am not getting hit.
You're swinging the stick and you're thinking to yourself, it's like, this guy's a cop and we're gonna be brothers at one point. I don't wanna just wail on him as hard as I can with this wooden stick, because what happens if I hurt him? You know, then that guy's like on light duty, and you know, it plays with your head. And I think they were getting mad at us for not hitting people.
Swing the stick with a purpose. Let's clean up these little issues.
There were several times where I was swinging my stick and I'd hit a role player, and I would try not to hit them as hard. You know, it's all immediate. You try not to aim for joints, just like you're trained not to. But you know, you give them a little tap, they don't move. You tap them a little harder, they're still not moving. All right, well, now I'm going to hit you. I mean, I was trying to tell my fellow recruits, you know, they're throwing these tennis balls at you and stuff like that, and you see my classmates, you know, they're trying to dodge and weave them and stuff like that, and it's kind of throwing them off, and they're getting their sticks taken, or, you know, they're breaking through the line, stuff like that. You know, you've got this protective equipment on, use it.
It was tough for all of us to work together, 45 people without one person messing up.
I know 2 recruits like broke a taillight on one of the police cars, and you know, that kind of got them like, oh, we're going to be in trouble, we broke a taillight kind of thing. When real life riot situation, you think anybody cares about that car?
The really crappy part was all the emergency gas situations where they would just throw a can of CS gas into the middle of us and just pop off.
And then also on the final day, they have to be exposed to gas, where they go into a gas house, cover groups at a time. They have to demonstrate their gas mask works. And after they show that it works, they have to remove the gas mask and recite something, usually their name and their code or social security number or something along those lines, to make sure they're breathing in the gas to see those effects and understand how that works.
I hate gas. Ugh.
I'm a heavy breather. I take nice big breaths. I don't want anything to stop that. So
trying to purge your mask and clear the gas out never really works properly. You know, you never get all the gas out.
My last gas chamber, I was in Okinawa, Japan, and my mask that they gave me didn't work. And I didn't figure that out until I went into the gas chamber. So I was breathing gas the entire time. I didn't feel like waiting through the whole process again, so I just faked it. And I learned to breathe. You can breathe with gas. It's really hard, but it is. As long as you don't let the fear take over, it's doable.
So like it gets all in your helmet and it gets all over your mask and your shirt and stuff like that, and it burns for the next couple of minutes. And it's on your hands, so you wipe your nose and then you're like, ugh. But yeah, no, I didn't like that at all.
The stuff that the police use, I mean, that stuff that we just went through was very strong. I mean, it was burning my armpits as soon as I walked in. It was bad, but I recovered pretty quick afterwards. I got that water on my eyes, and then I helped everybody else when they came out, try to guide them to the water and stuff.
Now, as soon as they leave, the effects are pretty much done, and it shows them that if they go into a clear environment, they'll be fine, and it's something that you can fight through.
With the way everything is now, Chicago, Atlanta, all the big major cities, we've got to be prepared for that.
You guys, some of it just thinks it's a joke. It's not a joke. It's a 5.5